Alright, so knot mesh is kind of a strange monster here. What we're going to want to do is we're going to abandon an entire row of mesh over here on the right side. And what that's going to allow us to do is actually string a 9-diamond top string, which is something that everybody's really familiar with. So I got 4 sets of sidewalls here, and I'm going to start by finding the 9-diamond row where my left side is actually still intact, and the right side is cut off just like that. I'm going to fold it over so that we find ourselves a nice 9-diamond row, and again you'll see that this is already abandoned. We're going to abandon the entire far right row the whole way down. We're going to skip this first sidewall hole and we're going to go in through the second one. Start by taking your sidewall string. You should have a knot strung on the outside so it doesn't pull straight through. Pull through there, through there. We're going to start exactly how we finish. And you can see as I pull this tight, it's going to secure it nicely to the sidewall. Now, a trick that I always employ so that we can maximize our symmetry here is I actually just tie off the other side of my top string hole. Right through the hole that it's going to be finished at. I'm going to utilize a square knot and pull it out real easily down the road. This string is going to end up being either one of our sidewalls or our bottom string, but for right now it's just a placeholder. So it's important to figure out where you're going before you start. This diamond hole is going to go to this far right top string hole. Then we're going to skip. We're going to put one here, and again, we're going to mirror this open hole to this guy right here on the side. To start the process, I'm going to take the string back out towards the back of the head. We'll pull the slack out from that knot that we had. Then I'm going to put it through the mesh diamonds to the face, back to the back of the head, through the plastic. Then I'm going to lace it down through the little latch that I just made right here. Pull out all of the slack, and then we're going to reverse it by going through the plastic and then back out through the mesh to the back of the stick. As you pull it, you get a nice U with a string coming in and a string coming out. We're going to skip this one diamond. We're going to move on to the one directly after it and do the exact same thing. Alright, so we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 perfectly symmetrical top strings knots put in there, and now it's time to tie it off. So we're going to remove this placeholder. Here is our ending knot. We're going to go through both of these diamonds. Now we're going to tie this guy off exactly how we did on the other one. We're going to repeat by going back through the mesh again, making sure that we leave an open hole, and you'll realize why when we do the sidewalls. It's incredibly important. Pull overhand knot, pull out all the slack, and you're ready to roll. The sidewall construction on this is going to be really awkward on one side and really easy on another. It's just kind of what you have to deal with to get the knot mesh feel. Let's go ahead and start on the side where we are going to abandon an entire row of diamonds. Again, that's going to leave us with a 9 and 8 diamond piece of mesh. It's definitely going to help out, and it'll keep everything nice and symmetrical. The key here is to constantly ignore this last row of diamonds, and you'll see me do that as I go down. Since we abandoned this hole, we're actually set up for a very, very, very easy pattern. We're going to go from the outside in, through the second diamond row in, and then we're going to repeat. We're going to come back out again towards the back of the mesh. Once you pull all the slack, you'll see that this secures the mesh over towards the sidewall. It also sets up your string for the stringing technique that we're about to employ. This gets a little tricky, so follow me here. We're going to go in through the mesh, then we're going to go and tie our knot through the plastic. Go from the outside in, back down through the loop that we had, and pull out all of the slack. This is a Cali connection knot or a love knot. There's many names for this. But now that that's thatched right to the plastic, we're going to go from the bottom up through the mesh. As you pull this down, you'll see that it actually locks the mesh to the sidewall. The first 3 knots are actually going to be this exact same knot pattern. So again, we're going to go from the top down through the mesh. Then we are going to latch it to the plastic by going from the outside in and then through our loop. Pull out the slack. Then from the front of the stick to the back through the mesh. Pull it down again. And again, you see a pattern forming right here where our abandoned diamond row is eventually going to have a unified open diamond pattern sitting to the right of our stick. It's the last time we're going to do this, so we're going from the back to the front through the mesh, securing it around the plastic with a love knot or Cali connection knot. Back down again, removing all of the slack. So here we go, we have 1, 2, and 3. The rest of the way down, we're going to do standard interlocks. However, it is a very similar stringing technique. Going from the back to the front, and then we're going to go from the outside to the inside and directly thatch it through the loop. We're going to do that again here in a moment, so if you missed that, that's fine. And again, we're hitting every single hole all the way down. We're going to go back up again through the mesh towards the back, and it will hold it like that. Let's do that one more time. We're going to go from the back of the mesh to the front of the mesh, from the outside of the plastic to the inside of the plastic, directly crossing through the string we just set, pulling out the slack, going from the front of the mesh to the back of the mesh. We're going to do that the rest of the way down. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of those, and then this bottom hole here is going to get a different treatment. So I'll see you guys at the bottom. So now we just put in our last standard interlock. I think it's beneficial at this point in time just to kind of pull the mesh out, see where it might sit. You're not going to get the full idea of it until you get the other sidewall done, but real simple tie off here. We want to end, just as we've been going, right through this diamond right here. Changing it up a little bit, we're going to drop it right through to the front. We're going to come from the inside of the plastic down, just like that. Pull the slack out. Simple overhand knot. We're going to do our second sidewall here. Now, this should be easier because you don't have to abandon one of these diamond patterns over here. So you should just go right through it. It's the exact same pattern. You're hitting every single hole going down the side. And because we abandoned this first string up here, we're going to have a really nice pocket curve and everything's going to work out just fine. The bottom string is a simple 2-hitch. Let's run through that. Just pay attention to which diamonds I'm hitting. And then if this were to ever start bagging out for any reason after months and months of play, you just want to take this out, redo exactly what I showed you, and move it up a diamond towards the lip. So you can get a lot of play out of this pocket for a long period of time. It might just require one adjustment, maybe 6 months down the road. We're going to go from the bottom up. I'm going to go down to the next diamond row, skip one, going right there. So again, next diamond row down, skip one over. Right over to its neighbor, drop it back into the front of the stick. Here is a little trick for you guys. Whenever you're doing a 2-prong bottom string, switch it up. So now I'm going from the bottom in again, and you'll see that it looks a little awkward. This is going to set lower than the outside structure, creating a good nest for the ball. I'm going to jump right over to the next hole, pull it down. So far this is your structure. We're going to bring it back up. Now remember, there's going to be some extra diamonds over here, so it's best just to count and make sure you're right. Skip one, go all the way across, skip one right there. That would put us right here. So for counting purposes, there are 2 diamonds skipped from left to right before we come back up through the bottom string. And we're going to dump it right back down through its neighbor. and we're going to put it right down to the bottom of the stick. Now I usually pull a lot of the slack out, hold this string loosely in my hand while I hold the bottom, and form it until it's as deep as I want it to be. The result of our build is going to be a mid to mid-low pocket with a very, very strict channel. And that actually all is systemic from abandoning this one and only hole at the top. It just happens that the 700 and the knot mesh works in such a way that the more narrow aspect of things when you abandon this makes a 9 and 8 diamond mesh piece. So by stacking everything up, you can create a nice deep pocket and a very formed channel without a lot of complexity, as long as you don't mind abandoning this diamond pattern over here. Now, in terms of sidewall strings, this is maybe an 8 out of 10, just because of these diamond guys over here. Top string's really simple, and your shooting strings can be as simple as you want. Now, if you guys want to do a little bit of research on shooting strings, there's going to be a link in the comments section below, and you guys can check out the STX archive. I'm Justin Skaggs, and this has been my review on how to string knot mesh into the Stallion 700 from STX.